Hey guys, welcome back to the island. It's me, Dreadnok Ryan, and today we're going to do a review of the PP Patrol. Uh, sorry, Python Patrol. I did just receive in my Python Patrol officer, which does look a little bit different, as I've seen in social media, from the original Python Patrol officer, which was in all black, and then had the Python deco on the shoulder straps and web gear. We'll also be covering the Python Patrol Viper and the Python Patrol Bat, which I believe I'd already covered before, but just kind of bringing them all together just so that you can see these great figures. I was not a huge fan of the Python Patrol or Tiger Force back in the day, but with the classified line, just seeing some of these redecos, the sculpting on the figures, it just kind of, made me kind of appreciate this line a little bit more. Not being so just garish repaints. Also understanding that a lot of these Tiger Force or Python Patrol were some folks jumping off points into G.I. Joe because that was the only time they could get the figures. It makes me appreciate them a little bit more. So let's start with the Viper. As I said, we've already reviewed the Bat, but we can go back to it. The Viper is a repaint of the Viper Island Bat, the original Target exclusive. The big main difference from that one to this is you don't get the scarf, which is not really a big deal. The goggles were a little bit easier to put on the head of this Viper. They do come off. The backpack does have a little bit of a different paint deco on it with the grenades and the rope. Again, it's pretty much the same mold. The figure is pretty much the same. It's just with the deco for the Python Patrol, the grays and the yellows and the reds. I wasn't sure how I would really care for this figure at first just because of the difference in colors. Plus, the original Viper is just iconic. But I don't think you can go wrong by having too many different colored Vipers. I do like the red faceplate. I think that just kind of sets it off a little bit more. The weapons are kind of that sci-fi-ish, which are, it might not meet the current, thirst for military stuff that we see from some other lines and then even from some of the other Joes. But this figure, I think, fits it well. Standard Joe articulation, it does have the drop-down hip from the first. Legs can go up. Double-jointed knees give you flexibility. Double-jointed elbows with the standard articulation that came on the Viper. Again, the neck is sitting on a dumbbell joint and the head is on that same double joint, so you do get decent movement on the head for posing, different things like that. I will admit that probably after the review I'll take these goggles off because I just don't want to worry about them snapping. And with some of the earlier Joes, and even still now, the hips are a little bit tight, but with all of my action figures I use shock oil just to make sure that I don't have problems with those in the future. Started doing that actually with WWE figures and Jazzware figures for my son's collection as well. That's helped stop some breakage from some of the tight detents that you may see. But overall, if this figure, I do really like it. I really like the classified line. It's hard for me to find too many figures that I didn't particularly care for. But I think, again, with this just being the Viper, it's one of those iconic characters, so getting Vipers in a number of different colors never really hurts my feelings. So, the Python Patrol Officer, what really stands out for me with this particular figure is this detail work they did on the chest piece here. The lines, the texture, the Cobra in that light kind of neon green going with the red trim around the collar. Again, the covered head and having a different colored version of Cobra figures. We're getting, different skin tones, which is nice. It just adds a little bit more. I don't want to say like diversity to your Cobra ranks, but it's just nice to see the little bit of the change to add to giant displays you may see of multiple Vipers, where not all of them will look the same. The web gear does come from the original Cobra Officer, so everything pretty much is the same. The knife, the boots, just different colors repurposed. This AK, the sidearm. Of course, you do get the other weapon with the backpack holster. And then, of course, it has storage for all of the other equipment. This all did come pretty much standard, so the clip does come out for this. You can swap that out if you want. Of course, the other gun, if I can get it out here, let's set the figure over here. It is a tight fit, but it just kind of gives them another weapon that you can use. The clip will plug into the side. There is a laser scope piece that does plug on the side of the AK, so like an infrared dot, something like that, which will help add just some more detail to the weapons. I am a fan of Gridiron Studios. I fortunately only collect the classified line for 6-inch figures, so I do have the ability to spend a little bit more with Gridiron. So if I do want to add some different loadouts, I can. But overall for this figure, I just really like it. It's the same articulation from the first. So I do like the arm guards here. Again, double jointed elbows. Gives great flexibility. The only thing I will say with the Joes, the hands, if we could get more up and down hands, that would be great instead of, side to side. But you can get into different grips for the weapons if you want to. It does have the nice ab crunch as well. With the web gear, it gives it a little bit more flexibility compared to the Viper, who is wearing the vest that covers more of it. Again, nice having the storage for your figures so that you can put all that gear on there. Double jointed knees as we've expected. It does have the drop down hips. Again, with all my figures, I do hit them with shock oil just to make sure that the detents in the hips don't cause any problems. The knife, of course, with the nice knife sheath. One of the cool things I really do like about the classified figures is the ability to have multiple weapons and storage. I think a lot of the 6-inch military type figures have some of those same features, so it's nice to see. And it'll be even better once we see some more different figures come out from different companies. So that is the Python Patrol Officer. And then, of course, the Python Patrol Bat. Again, I've done a review on this one before. But again, the color difference and the change on the bat, I really like. That deep red on the faceplate with the yellow, the maroon, and the black just really pops. One nice feature I really didn't really think would be impactful, but having that paint app here, that gray, just seems to make a big difference for this particular bat. It doesn't come with the damaged head, replaceable head, or the chest plate, but it does have the deco on the chest plate, and with all the paint apps, I can see why it doesn't come with those extra pieces, just because, I get costing out and different things for the figures. But again, bats are iconic like Vipers, so the more bats we get in this line, I don't think we can go wrong. Again, double jointed elbows, again with the bats, because they are the androids, you do get more flexibility from them. You can get them in some pretty dynamic poses. Same thing with the legs, the double jointed knees, ankle rockers, of course, as well too, but definitely gives you some flexibility to get these guys into some different poses. I will say that the detents on these bats are a little bit tighter than what I did get on the original run of bats, but That's all right. It helps them stay in poses, and you get less wiggly knees and different things like that. So this has been my review on the Python Patrol classified figures. Again, not a set that I thought I would particularly like, but I am pleasantly surprised that I'm really starting to like these figures. The different paint schemes, different things like that, just kind of add some, variation to your Cobra or your Joe shelves. The other nice thing is you make these sub teams your exclusives for stores, which I think helps collectors be able to get some of these. Plus, quantities seem to have been better this last time around, so hopefully continue to see this. Again, thank you for everyone who is a subscriber for the island. I truly appreciate it. You guys are all legends in my book. Let me know what you think about the Python Patrol. Is it something that changed your mind about them, or were you kind of like, hey, was never a fan, or I've always been a fan? Hit me up in the comments. Let me know, and I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks.